Pam Minick.
And I'm Bob Tallman.
We're going to take you on a leisurely stroll today through the Fort Worth Stockyards National Historic District. It's going to be educational and entertaining.
Now, we're excited because this is culture before culture was cool. And I want you to smell the smells and taste it all and be a part of your tour.
Take your time. Let's take a stroll.
Let's go.
Before we begin our tour, please let me quickly review a bit of history about this place which you are about to explore. None of this was here 150 years ago. This was Indian country. In 1849, a group of pony soldiers was sent to North Texas to protect the scattered settlers from the Indians. The soldiers rode to a bluff above the Trinity River, where the buildings of downtown Fort Worth are located today. The soldiers had a good river below them. They had a good position atop the bluff, so they built a fort. The soldiers only stayed here for about 4 years, then moved further west. But the soldiers left a town of about 30 people here. After the Civil War, there was a hunger in the North for beef. In South Texas were thousands of longhorn cattle roaming free on the open range. In Texas, the animals were only worth $2 to $4 a head. This chance to profit so handsomely was the beginning of the trail drive era. The trail drives lasted less than 20 years, but it was one of the most colorful periods of our history. Fort Worth was known as Cowtown as early as 1862, when a few scattered trail drives started. But the major trail drives began right after the Civil War in 1866.
Fort Worth was fortunate to find itself smack dab in the middle of the old Chisholm Trail. It was the main north-south trail between Texas and Kansas. Now, the trail began below San Antonio. It came right through downtown Fort Worth and then continued north. In fact, you're standing on a part of it right now. The trail crossed the Red River up above Bowie, crossed in Indian Territory in Oklahoma, and arrived at the railhead at Abilene, Kansas. Fort Worth prospered because it was the last bit of civilization before the drovers began the final leg. 400 miles to drive from here to Kansas. Now, the herds could walk about 10 to 15 miles per day. From Fort Worth, the cowboys were looking at another 25 days on the trail. That is, if everything went all right. If the drovers experienced trouble, such as a flooded river or a stampede, they might be on the trail for 3 months. So they always stopped at Fort Worth, rested and watered their herds, and the cowboys went into town for a last fling. To give you an idea of the activity in the spring and summer of each year, know that in 1871, they counted over 600,000 animals trailing north out of Texas. This huge number busted the market, and only half as many were on the trail in 1872. But 300,000 animals is a pretty respectable herd as well.
Please make your way to the Stockyards Station right next to the Visitor Center. We'll stop outside the front entrance at the second set of railroad tracks.